Welcome to the Be a Boss Coaching mini podcast series 9 to Grind. In this podcast series, I will be talking with women of color, BIPOC, and queer entrepreneurs who are both juggling a 9 to 5 and running a business at the same time. In this series, I aim to shine a light on the many different ways that people balance their corporate careers with their entrepreneurial aspirations. Each episode will delve into their challenges, successes, and most importantly, what they do from the time they get up in the morning until they go to bed at night. I know firsthand how tough this balance act can be since I left my job a little too soon and I learned lessons along the way. I hope that with this series, you can get as much insight and strategies that will help you in your personal entrepreneurial journey and corporate career. Thanks for tuning in, and I can't wait for you to hear from these incredible entrepreneurs who have shared their time and their wisdom. I hope you enjoy. Hi, Luz. Thank you for coming on to the Be a Boss Coaching podcast. I'm so excited that you're here.
Yes, me too. It's a pleasure. So we met on Instagram, and now just to be here in your podcast, I feel really special. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so glad that we had a chance to connect, and I know that we are also both part of Wendy's group coaching, which is the Inspired Action. I'm sad that we don't have the same pod. I'm on Wednesdays. When are you? What are your pod times?
The pod, which is getting smaller. So it is on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. So why don't we start? I know I said your name already, but why don't we start with you reintroducing yourself and then letting me know the name of your business, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Luz Hernandez. I am a girl coach. I have two amazing girls. One is 17, the other one is 14. I'm a very outgoing person and adventurous. I love to travel. I love to get to know the cultures, their food, their traditions, as well as just explore. I think that's what life is all about. I also do girls empowerment workshops. That's where the girl coach comes into place. My business is called Y.E.S Girl Life. It stands for Young Empowered Sisters Girl Life. That is, those are the acronyms. Yeah, that's me.
Wow. I knew that you were a young girl coach, and I'm really interested in learning more about how you came into working with young girls. Tell me more about that business. What does that entail, and how do you help young girls through your coaching?
So my business started during the pandemic. I had left my former job, and then I was in the middle of a transition, trying to become a substitute teacher, but I had no job. I had no responsibilities. Everything shut down. So then I started looking on social media, and I came across this program called Girl Life, which it was an investment of, it gives you empowerment workshops. And I was like thinking, oh my God, that'd be so cool for me to do it with my girls, empower my own girls with mindset, and then do it with their friends. So I jumped in the opportunity, and I started doing these workshops virtually. In pandemic, everything was shut down, so the girls were at home as well. So I called in a couple of parents, and I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm starting these workshops. They're going to help your daughter with mindset. They're going to help her how to manage her thoughts and her feelings, and how to just also it's going to be an activity for them, since there were no extracurricular activities for the girls at that time. So my workshops talk about social emotional topics, but we go through those topics through mindful activities. So we practice gratitude, we practice breath work, meditation, and I make it fun and interactive for the girls, because my workshops are geared towards girls that are 7 to 15 years old. And my younger ones, they love a lot of hands-on, a lot of activities where they get to explore. Whereas my older group, they're more into the coaching, more into talking about their feelings, learning where they come from. So it's more like talking to them. So I love both groups because they're both interactive. They bring a lot into perspective. And then with that, we do an empowering craft, which is hands-on. And that's what the girls love the most about my workshops, because it's something that they can not only practice at the workshop, but they get to take it home and continue practicing what they learn. So it's like an ongoing process, continue building that mindset muscle, not just when they're in the workshops. Then we move on with the nutrition portion. The girls get to create like these healthy snack with fruits and vegetables, and it's fun for them. I recall one time we prepared a green monster smoothie, which has spinach and fruits. And the girl, after the workshop, she had her mom purchase the ingredients and do it with her grandma. So the mom came to me and she's like, "How did you get my daughter to eat spinach when it's so hard for me to have her eat her vegetables and her fruits?" And I was like, "Well, we just created a smoothie during the workshop. And since
Mm,
all the girls get to try it, then the girls are more open to trying new things in a group setting." So
mm,
this part actually connects the mind and the body. So I tell the
mhm,
girls, don't only nourish, it's not only about nourishing your mind, but also your body, right? Whatever we put into our body has an impact in how we think and how we feel. So if you're putting a lot of things that are not healthy in your body, your energy, of course, is going to go up with the sugars and then it's going to pivot down, right? You're just not going to have enough energy. But when you nourish your body with these foods that bring nutrients, that bring a lot of goodness into your life, then your mind is going to be more clear. You're going to be able to think. You're going to be able to have more energy throughout the day. So,
mhm,
this is something about how my workshops work with the mind and body connection, and how it's not just about the mindset tools, but also for the girls to tap into their creativity, into
mhm,
that spark that when we're kids, we're so curious. We get into things. We love coloring. We love doing arts and crafts. We love using our hands, our senses. So that is the part that I want to continue nourishing for the girls so they can continue expressing themselves in different ways, not just academically, but also through their creativity.
That is so interesting. Thank you. I never thought about the coaching world coming into the world of like a young girls, especially 7-year olds and 8 and up to 15. I think the closest thing that I can think of that's similar would be Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you get to learn about I don't remember exactly what Girl Scouts is about, but I know they teach you about business, right? And skills, social skills. And so that it's really interesting to see the ways in which we empower young girls now. There's like different models for that. That's so interesting. Thank you for sharing. And I'd like to go into your full-time job. So I know you said during the pandemic, you were you working full-time and then let go
I was
or
I was working part-time, and then
okay.
I decided to resign due to the stress that the job
Mm,
had. So I just made that decision to just resign.
okay, okay. And then what happened after that?
So after that, I decided to go into become a substitute teacher. But during that
Okay.
time, everything was shut down. So my test
Yeah.
got postponed and got kept going, getting postponed. But finally, I did it in 2021. I completed the test and I became a substitute teacher. So now my 9 to 5 is a substitute teacher where I get to empower the kids in the classroom. I get to be in different schools, and I work with high school students. I tried
Oh,
elementary, middle school, but my age and the ones that I love, it's high school. So that is the kids that I love working with.
yeah. Yeah. That's so cool that your job, your full-time job and your business connect a lot because you get to connect with a lot of young people in both aspects of your life. So it's cool to see those two parallels in the work that you do. So I know you talked about what you do with your business and how you empower young girls and hold workshops. And I'm curious when you then became a substitute teacher and then began to continue with your business as a young girl coach or girl coach, what were some of the challenges that you experienced as you have now become a full-time substitute teacher and trying to grow your business at the same time?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges has been time management. Where do I invest my time in? So
Yeah.
before starting a business, I had extra time and I would just sit, watch a Netflix series, or go out there, out with my friends. Like my time wasn't that important. It was important to me, but I had more activities that I could do. But now, as a business owner, I really have to be intentional with my time because I know that behind the scenes, a lot goes on with a business. When you start building up a business, you're on your own. You're like a solo entrepreneur out there. And I started balancing my time also, my work, my family, and my business. So those are the three areas where I manage my time, and I'm very intentional now. So that was one of the challenges. Another challenge when I started my business was technology because I
Yeah.
consider myself very tech savvy. I have been learning along the way and making mistakes or watching YouTube videos, just keeping it real. That is how I started learning. And I'm still learning. I'm still in the process, but now I have the ability to actually hire people that can help me or can teach me. Like a business evolves throughout time.
Yeah. So how did you manage to think about the time in as you were starting your business and working full time? And I like that you have three buckets essentially. You said work, family, and business. But was there ever a time where you were on trying to figure out what this looked? And I know we'll get into it and to go into the details about it, but what was going on in your head as you were facing these challenges and how you started to figure out that this was even a challenge and how you started to solve it?
Yeah. So at the beginning, I had no idea how to start the business. So I was
Yeah.
able to just reach out to like-minded women and learn
Mm,
from them, learn how they were running their own business, and then try some of the things. And since we're all different and unique, some things worked for me, some things didn't. So it was like trial and error for me just to get out there and try it, practice it.
yeah.
If it didn't work, then I would try a different way or a different thing for myself. So pretty much is I got in tune with how I was feeling, and if I was
Mm,
forcing it, I knew it wasn't for me.
mm,
But if it felt good and it was in flow, I was like, okay, this is something that I can implement in my business. And this is something that can help me manage my time better. I was also like, my girls are very important to me. My family life is very important to me. So I always schedule my things around their schedule. So we do have family meetings where we go over the activities that we have through the week. And then I put in my business in there and things that I get to create. So I actually have expanded my time too. I feel like I
mm.
have a better relationship with time and I
I love
respect
it.
time. Yeah, I think also you have to respect time and the time will expand. Because if you don't tell the time, like, what is it that you want to do or what is it that you want to create, time goes by like that in a second. It could just go. So now that I'm very intentional to, okay, at this time, I'm going to work on my business. At this time, I'm going to drop off my daughter to her activities. At this time, I get to work in school and also be mindful when at my work
Mm,
to focus on my work. Because what
yeah.
I was doing at the beginning, I was multitasking, and that got a toll on my mental health and my well being because I was doing multiple things at the same time that I felt that at the end of the day, I was very tired and not focused, and I
Mm.
wasn't pivoting in my family as well. So I think this starting a business has helped me grow as a person and also with my relationships, like I said, with time. That's something that I learned. And then how I manage my time and how I manage my life.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts around there. I like how you said that you respect time. You almost see time as an alive concept, something that's like a person almost, and then you tell it like this is what is gonna happen. You know, it just feels like very intentional, and I'm wondering, how do you do that now? Do you have a calendar, or do you use a digital calendar online or a physical planner? What does that look like for you
Yeah.
in
So
your day to day?
in my day to day, I use a physical planner.
Okay.
Before the year starts, I look for a planner, and I also go with the feelings. Like it has to feel right. It has to have the right amount of space because I know like I'm going to start feeling it out. It has to be colorful. It has to have amazing quotes, empowering quotes. And then, yeah, I write everything on my calendar with times that of things
Yeah.
that I need to get done. But within also when I plan my days or plan my weeks, I also set boundaries with my family.
Mm.
So that looks like if something comes up at the last minute and I have a commitment, I'm not going to drop off my commitment. Did this happen today? My daughter just notified me at the early during the day that she had a university reception. So she is getting ready to go to college, and she had a university reception. But I already have the podcast. I was like, I have a podcast at 6, and your thing is at 6:30. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to make it. Ask your dad if he's able to take you. You'll go. If not, it's not gonna happen. So setting boundaries with my family and with the people around me, because if it's on my calendar and it's like an important commitment, then I'm gonna stick to it, no matter what comes along the way in life. So that is how I work with my calendar. It's something physical. I love using different color pens, highlighters. I love making it fun too. So it doesn't feel
Yeah.
fast. Another thing that I have learned about is not what I need to do, but what I get to do. It gives me more of a freedom. Like I get to show up at work. I get to work on my business. I get to be with my girls. So that is what I look like. It looks like.
I love that. I love that it's not what I need to do, but what I get to do. I
Yeah.
feel like I need to put that on a post-it. It is so good. I have to write it down, but that's such a great mindset and just like a way to think about something. And also, as you're thinking about work and business and your life and family, I like that you've come to a place where you have learned to honor what you need to do, right? Like things like your daughter's having a university reception, but they're old enough to understand, and you're setting that example of honoring what you need to do and your boundaries. And I think that goes to show how powerful you as a coach are for young women. Like you get to be that role model as well, and you show it not just like in your business but in your personal life too. And so I really love that you've learned to figure out what this looks like both for your business and for within your work, within your family, and you've gotten there. And I think it's because you're a coach. Like you have the skills and that ability to figure out what that looks like, asking those questions. What does that relationship to time look like? What does the relationship to my word look like? And I know because Wendy asked me that same question. So I love like that there's a lot of tools that you're implementing no matter what in your life and in your business. So that's so great to hear. Okay. So do you ever see yourself transitioning to your business full time or doing both your full time job as a substitute teacher and your business? What does this look like for the future? Or what does that look like for you?
Yeah. So 5 years from now, I do see myself transitioning to my business full time because I see the importance, and it's something that motivates me every day.
Yeah.
Just seeing the transformation in the girls, how some girls come into a workshop feeling shy, feeling anxious, experiencing depression. And as we go through the mindful activities in each workshop, I get to see the transformation. as they are opening up an awareness of their thought patterns, their beliefs, their feelings. And then magic happens when they start listening from other girls that they're going through similar experiences, that they also have that inner critic that tells them or puts them down. So then everything starts clicking and they're like, wow, I'm not the only one. I'm not alone. Other girls are experiencing similar things. At the end of the workshop, first of all, they don't want to leave, which is a good thing. And then wanna, they're more alive. They want to continue learning. They want to continue practicing what they learn. So I always tell them at the end of the workshop, don't let this work stay here. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with the people you're in contact with. Because if we empower ourselves, it's also important to share that with the world, share it out there. So that is my biggest motivation, just the transformation that happens in each workshop and how the girls get to tap into their genuine self and not focus so much on what other people think of them or those messages they get to hear on social media or what society is telling them, but just really tap into who they are. That is.
Yeah. I love that motivation. It is, oh my gosh, if I would have had a coach like you when I was young, Luz, the possibilities, I mean, it's not like I turned out like bad or anything, but there's just so much that when you're in that stage of life, when you're like a very young girl, like you're just understanding how others perceive you, how others might be perceiving you. And that can have a negative effect sometimes. And without the tools to figure out and navigate that stage of our lives when we're like in our preteens or even teens, of course, you have support systems around you. For the most part, I would hope that young people have support systems like their parents or somebody that can do that, right? But to have intentional space and tools where you think about how you move through life, your mindset, what does empowerment mean to you, and then connecting with others around similar challenges, it's just, I think it could be so powerful. It can really shape the way that even when we're going into young adulthood, it can equip us even better, I think. So I think that's so needed. Thank you so much for doing this work, because there's so much vulnerability in being a young person.
Yeah.
So much vulnerability there.
Yeah, especially right now with social media, the girls get to see and hear different messages that if they don't funnel their social media the right way, then they're just bombarded with all these disempowering messages. So now there is an increase of body image where the girls are comparing themselves to other girls. And there's that internal dialogue of, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, or I need this in order to be enough. And that comes with our self-worth. So that is the core of my workshops, working with their self-worth and just loving themselves for who they are, not what others or social media is portraying out there. And I love how you said you wish you had a coach like me. I feel like if we equip our girls early in life with these mindset tools and they continue practicing them throughout their young adulthood, then they don't have to relearn patterns like how we are doing. I feel like I've been doing inner work for about 4 years, and still I have some bad habits or limiting beliefs that stop me along the way. And if our girls have these tools early in life, they're going to pivot faster than what we are experiencing right now. So that's another empowering tool that I tell moms, like it's important to nourish their mindset early in life. And I love that nowadays we have all the resources at our fingertips, right? we have the internet, we have the social media. So it's the way that you want to also use social media, right? Social media
Yeah.
is helpful. It connected both of us. It connected me with you, Beatriz, and it has connected me with other amazing women. But yeah, they don't have to relearn. That's the most important thing. Our girls don't have to relearn.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It can be such a tool of life to then be able to go into situations, into new stages of life, feeling like even if you don't know what is to come, that you adapt, that you have the tools, you've learned how to see the worth in yourself and what that looks like. And that work doesn't stop, it's continuous. It's always continuous and you grow. And it's never too late to get on a path to seeing your own self-worth. I don't think it's ever too late. But I don't think it's never too early either.
Yeah, both ways.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Okay, Luz, can you tell me what does a typical day in your life look like as you are a full-time substitute teacher and also running your business at the same time? Can you tell me what happens when you wake up in the morning down to when you go to bed?
Yeah, I love this question. So a typical day in my life, it starts early in the morning. Around 5 a.m., I get up and be intentional with my day. So when I wake up, I do my morning prayer. That's my first thing. Practice gratitude for a new day and what's to come of that day. Then I move on to moving my body. I could do a morning workout. I could just put a YouTube video and start moving my body or take a walk outside. Something that shifts my energy and helps me like feel more energized. And that is my morning workout. Then I jump in the shower, of course, get ready, be intentional with what I wear. So I love to express my creativity in my clothing. And I love using different patterns, different colors. And I always look forward to picking my outfit. It makes me feel good. I feel like it lifts up my mood and it makes me feel good throughout the day.
Awesome. Yeah.
After that, I go drop off my youngest daughter to school and then I head to work. So once I'm at work, I just focus on teaching, depending the subject that I have to teach that day. I interact with the students. I also love getting to know the students, listening to them, hearing them, making them feel seen, because there's also a transformation when the students feel that you care and can feel it, then they are opening up and they're ready to learn. So many behaviors come from like the students not being able to feel heard or seen or just be in tune with the teacher. So that's what I do at work. Then after work, around 3:30, I go pick up my youngest daughter from school. I come home, and that's when I take my biggest pause. I get to do a meditation, and I get to take a nap. If the meditation is too deep, I do take a nap. And
I love it.
Yes, I'm like, that grounds me. That makes me feel like it recharges me, makes me feel so good. Because now when I get up, I get to either work on content for my business or just be with my family. So we do have our family dinner around 6 p.m. And that's when the four of us, my husband and the girls, we get to sit down. We get to just share how our day was, share anything that came up, any feelings or something that we need to talk about. So it's an opportunity for us to check in with each other as well as what are we going to create. Then after that, I could also be intentional about spending time with my family. So we either watch a movie or we stay a little bit longer talking, depending on the day. But I do sometimes carve some time to work on my newsletter or work on extra content or record videos for reels or make some reels. So that is what my day looks like. And that is Monday through Friday. On the weekends, of course, I'm not teaching, so I have more time to focus on my business and focus on family. And Sunday, it's all about family, just being with each other and trying new things. Like I said, I love traveling. I also love like taking these trips to local areas in LA and
Mhm.
being a tourist in my own city.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I just want to go back to when after dinner you're having time with your family and that's when you get to work on content or on your newsletter. And I'm wondering, how do you choose what to work on? Because as a solopreneur, there's a newsletter, there's social media, and there's so many different things you can work on. Maybe a website that you're working on, or something that you're trying to bring to life, or plan a workshop. So how do you prioritize, or how do you choose what you are going to work on for that time block?
Yes. Okay. For on Mondays is newsletter day. So that's,
Mm,
and I have to finalize the newsletter, the pictures that I'm going to put there. So I do use that time on Mondays for newsletter. And then for content, reels, or working on my website, well, let's talk about content and reels. That's when I'm promoting. That's when I'm trying to get new clients into my social media for them to find out what I'm all about, right? Building those relationships. That's what I've learned. With social media, you got to build up those relationships. It's not just about throwing your offer out there, but they
yeah.
get to hear it about 10 times before they come and sign up to one of my workshops. So
Mm-hmm.
I love getting creative with my reels and the content that I put out there. So I do take that time. If it's closer to a workshop, like 2 weeks prior to a workshop, that's when I make that a priority to work on my social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And then on my website, it's been progress. It's been a learning experience because I started from scratch and
Yeah.
I hire a coach to help me with my website. So it's been in the process and it's been a blissful journey because now that I have the website, I'm like, oh my God, we put this amazing thing together. Um, so the website comes and goes, but that's a
Yeah.
little bit of how I work through as a solo entrepreneur and how I have learned along the way a lot.
Yeah. I love it. I love how there's just like these are the things that move the needle for me, which is the newsletter, the social media, and your workshops. Like very to the point, straightforward. Like these are the things that are important. This is how the work gets put out. And the website is this ongoing project that's like ongoing all the time. And you've hired support too, that you like have someone to help you with that too. So I like that you have a day for newsletter, for example, because I know when you do have those blocks of time, it can get overwhelming. Okay, what do I work on? What do I even focus on? It's so overwhelming. And I like that you dedicated a day for the specific parts of your business that are very important, like the newsletter and then social media and the workshops, and that you lead up to the workshops by heavily promoting that on social media, on reels, and building those relationships. And I like that you mentioned that social media is not just about creating, but connecting with people
Yeah.
and being social. And that's how you build those relationships. So I really like that. Okay, so it seems like you have most of your work at the end of the day and then on weekends. Is there like a nighttime routine that you have perhaps, or maybe working on one? What does winding down look like, if at all, if that's something that happens in your day?
Yeah. So winding down looks like watching a little bit of Netflix with
Yeah.
my husband and my girls. Sometimes they join, but many of the times they also want that space for themselves. So at the end of the day, they also go to the rooms while my husband and I are watching some Netflix, a series, something that would just like relax us, makes us feel more grounded, more calm. And then we started doing a gratitude practice.
Mm.
So every day we get to write 10 things that we're grateful for. And that also helps us with our mindset to end the day on a good note. And I feel like I get a better night rest right now that I'm practicing the gratitude. And in the morning, I wake up fresh and energized.
Love
So
it.
that routine has helped us a lot just to practice a gratitude, write it down, and really look back at our day. What worked? What am I grateful for today that can help me the next day?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I like how you close out the day just reflecting on what happened, what you're grateful for, and it feels like a relief to just release everything and, like you said, end on a good note and start your day fresh. So I love that you get up so early too. Like I love getting up early in the morning and I'm
Yes.
like, okay, I need to go work out. I need to move my body, and it just makes me feel ready for the rest of the day too. And it helps my acne. So
You're like,
it's
yes, it's a win-win.
yeah, that's a big motivator for me. I'm like, oh, I need to like keep my acne at bay. Let me go run like 30 minutes. So yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Luz. I'm so glad that you shared your business and how you've built it, how you work on it, even as you are working full time as a substitute teacher. And I can really see how you love working with young people and really bringing the tools that you have learned in your journey as a coach to younger generations. So I think it's so important. So thank you so much for sharing. Before we wrap, where can people find you and get in touch with you, and how can we support you?
Awesome. First of all, thank you for having me in your podcast, Beatriz. This was a great experience. I enjoy our talk. You guys can find me at blissfulmindscoaching.com. That's my website. And then my social media handle on Instagram is Y.E.S Girl Life. I am a DM away. I love connecting with people and talking. And if I can be of any support for you or your daughter, then go ahead and reach out to me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Luz. I really appreciate you sharing with us and being part of this series where we really get to learn about how people working full-time jobs also get to work on their business. And I love what you said. I don't need to, I get to do what I love. So thank you for sharing that powerful thought. Really, it's so powerful. Thank you so much for tuning in to this special episode of the Be a Boss Coaching podcast, a 9 to Grind series. I hope that you learned so much from today's entrepreneur and that you took away new insights and new ways to navigate both your entrepreneurship journey with your professional career. If you have any questions about today's episode or you are interested in learning more about our featured entrepreneur, come on over to the show notes and click on the links to connect. These women are powerful and are ready to give you their own tips and advice to help you in your entrepreneurship journey. And of course, you can also reach out to me. I am Bea. I am the founder of BeaBossCoaching, and I help women of color, BIPOC, and queer entrepreneurs find their own confidence in their entrepreneurship journey like a boss. So come on over to BeaBossCoaching.com. Take a look at the website, what we offer, the freebies that we have, and any other podcasts or blogs that you're interested in. You can even schedule a complimentary call. I can't wait to get to know you. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next video.